guys, it's Jordan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you my Bookish Booktube resolutions for 2016, which is a very strange thing because I've never done New Year's resolutions for like my life. And the fact that I'm making them for books, does that say something bad about me? There have been some changes that I've been wanting to make on my channel and some changes to my book buying addiction. So I figured, new year, let's try this new leaf thing, see if it actually works. So I have some bookish goals as well as some booktube goals, so I'm going to get into those now, tell you what I want to do, tell you how 2016 is going to go. It's going to be awesome, and yes, let's get going, shall we? Let's start off with the easiest goal, which is my Goodreads goal. I set my Goodreads goal to 52 books this year, which is what I ended up completing last year. And I liked the idea of the mentality of one book a week. I don't think it's like pushing myself too hard. It's not too easy. Goal number 2, which I'm calling Read Your Bookshelf, also known as RIBS. Before starting BookTube, I had like maybe 13 unread books that I was just kind of pushing off because I just didn't have interest in them. That 13 number that I originally had before starting BookTube has skyrocketed to 47. That's almost my entire reading goal, and that doesn't include any of the new releases. That number is too high. It is too high. I know some other booktubers it's a lot higher, but for only being here for 11 months, not even a year yet, I'm not okay with this. I don't want to spend my money on books that I'm not reading. My hard-earned money is going into these books, and they're just sitting here, and I'm buying more and more, and this needs to be addressed now. I need to nip it in the butt before it gets too bad. Realistically, I'm not going to actually be able to read all 47 books. I could and still read all of the new books that I would like to read and all of the books last year from 2015 that I didn't get to. That would be amazing, but I'm not a superhero, so I'm not expecting that. But if I could cut this number in like half, if I could have less than 20, that's the true goal here. If I could have less than 20 unread books on my shelf, by the end of this year, I will be golden. So I did compile a little montage of all of my unread books. As you can see, that's a lot of books. As you've probably noticed, a lot of those are series. And that brings me to my next resolution, which I fondly call commitment issues. I have 11 uncompleted series where I own all of the books in the series. I haven't finished them. I started so many series last year. I read the first book of a ton of series. So I would really like to complete those 11 series. There's no reason that I can't. I own all the freaking books, so. And I'm going to show you again really quickly the nice little montage what exactly those are. First I have the Vampire Academy series. I've read the first 3 books, Vampire Academy, Frostbite, and Shadow Kiss. And I still need to read the last 3 books, which include Blood Promise, Spirit Bound, and Last Sacrifice. Next I have the Unbecoming of Mara Dyer series. I've read the first 2 books, The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer and The Evolution of Mara Dyer. I still need to read The Retribution of Mara Dyer. Next I have the Anna, Lola, Isla Companion series by Stephanie Perkins. I've read the first 2, Anna and the French Kiss and Lola and the Boy Next Door, and I still need to read Isla and the Happily Ever After. Next I have the Ugly series by Scott Westerfeld. I've read the first 3 books. I have yet to read extras, which is the companion. Next I have Beautiful Creatures series by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. I've read the first 2, Beautiful Creatures and Beautiful Darkness, and I still need to read Beautiful Chaos and Beautiful Redemption. Next I have the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, of which I've read the first 4 books. The Magician's Nephew, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Horse and His Boy, and Prince Caspian. And I still need to read The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair, and The Last Battle. Next I have the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, of which I've read Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, and Fairest. I still need to read Winter. And I have the Matched trilogy by Ali Condi, of which I've read Matched, and I still need to read Crossed and Reached. Then I have The Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel series by Michael Scott, of which I've read the first 5 books: The Alchemist, The Magician, Sorceress, The Necromancer, and The Warlock. I have yet to read The Enchantress. I also have the Lion Game series by Sarah Shepard, of which I have not yet started. I also have the Shatter Me trilogy by Tahira Mafi. I've read Shatter Me. I still need to read Unravel Me and Ignite Me, and the second novella in Unite Me. Finally, I have the If I Stay duology by Yale Foreman, of which I have not yet started. Those are all the series that I currently own in which I've started the series and not yet finished. As you can see, I have commitment issues. Let's go ahead and move on to my next resolution, which I call I Love You. And this is essentially me coming to terms with rereading. There are so many series that I really love, but I've never gotten the chance to reread. I've wanted to reread the Mortal Instruments series, the Infernal Devices, Harry Potter, Arcana Chronicles series for years, and I just haven't gotten the chance. I've only read Harry Potter once, and I've only read the Mortal Instruments once, and that's my favorite series of all time. I just feel so guilty rereading them when I have so many unread books, and there are so many new releases that I would rather read almost, but then not really. I also feel like it's important to keep your favorites fresh in your mind because I'm recommending them to you guys all the time. I'm not going to be able to reread all of them this year, but if I could maybe reread just one whole series, appreciate my favorites and read them again. My next resolution is the one I like to call Stay Hip, to read new releases when they are still new releases. I buy them when they're new releases, but then I don't read them when they're new releases. You know, they sit on my shelf for months and months. The hype's going on and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to read this book. And then I don't ever actually read the book. Queen of Shadows, Winter, talking about you. I just really want to be better about buying a book and then reading the book, not having it sit on my shelf for months and months and months, because that's what's currently happening. Then I go out and buy new books. Then I just have more books upon more books accumulating and sitting on my shelf that I don't ever get to because I have too many and then I don't have enough time. So no, I want to make sure that I stay up to date on the hype, on the buzz. That's part of being a booktuber, and I'm failing at it miserably. Well, actually, I'm failing at it really, really well. So I'm fantastically failing at it, I guess. And this resolution kind of plays into my next one, which I'm calling Save Your Bank Account. I want to stay up to date on all of these new books and these new releases, but I want to save money and not buy new books. You know, I have so many I don't need to buy anymore, but then I want to read the new ones. So what's the solution, you ask? The solution is find a library, Jordan. The library in my personal town sucks, or at least it did when I was in 8th grade and I went there to do research for a project. That was in 2006 and it's 2016. That was a decade ago. The library very may well have changed. I wasn't like looking in the YA section or for new releases or stuff like that, so I don't know what my library selection is. So I want to look into that because I think it's ridiculous the amount of money that I spent last year on books. I'm a poor college student. I shouldn't be buying books like this. If I really, 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 really love a book that I get from the library, then I can buy it. But this also eliminates me buying crappy books that I'm never going to reread. This can only benefit me. The next resolution I have is called iPad, because I have one of those. It costs me a lot of money and I neglect it sometimes. I don't know why. I have a ton of ebooks on there that I was really interested in when I bought them, and then they just sit there because they're not in my view. You know, they're not constantly in my face like these ones are, so I don't see them, so I forget that I have them, then they don't get read. And finally, my last book-ish resolution is to read more. Now this sounds very vague. What is read more, you ask? Read more is spend less time doing mindless stupid shit and more time reading. I complain often that I don't have time to do things like read. But that's probably not accurate. It's more of like I just spend my time doing crap that I really shouldn't be doing. I just want to spend my free time doing more productive things than wasting time on the internet, because that's just a black hole that I get sucked into way too often. So now that you've heard my bookish resolutions, let's go ahead and talk about my Booktube resolutions. I only have 3, but they're very important. And the first one is timeliness. Guys, this is a big struggle for me. I'm not a timely person in any aspect of my life, so this is something that really needs to be worked on as a whole. as a collective whole. But let's start here, and maybe it can branch out into my other areas of life. I will finish a book, and then like a week later film whatever I want to on it. And then like a week later I'll edit it. And so then it's like 3 weeks later before the video ever sees the internet. And it's no longer relevant whatsoever. This needs to be rectified in 2016. I'm not going to have a successful channel if I can't get things out on time. My second Booktube resolution is to film more spoiler-free book reviews. My book rants are very much just me completely just gushing and dissect things in a book. It's very spoilery, very discussion-based. Those aren't really inclusive to my viewers as a whole, the community as a whole. This year I'm going to really try to put out some more non-spoiler book reviews. So I want to do some more series reviews once I finish a series. For my third and final Booktube resolution, we have discussions. I don't do any discussions. I have a couple in mind. So those are all of my Booktube and Bookish New Year's resolutions. We will have to check back in at the end of 2016 to see how I did. I really hope I do well, because if I do poorly, I'm gonna just be pissed at myself. Wish me the best of luck. I would love to hear what some of your Booktube or Bookish resolutions are for 2016. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye! I read these to be like 3 or so years ago. Next I have the Chronicles. That looks nice. Can you tell what that is? Oh, because of this one freaking book. And Ignite Me. And I'm going to read things. Sound like a demon coming out of my mouth. There's only a certain amount of time that you can post an Allegiant trailer reaction to when it's released in like October. And the fact that I still haven't even edited mine and it's now January. What if I just did like alternating hands? Is that better?